Hi, and welcome to another weekly recap. So today I'm going to recap week 8 of which is April 2025. So this week I just got one losing trade, so which I deemed to be a good loser. So we need to realize whether that is a good loser or a bad loser, like we did on the previous weeks. So yeah, I'm on a losing streak. So every week I'm getting at least one trades, and and those trades are becoming a losing trade. So let's check whether this is a very good loser or a bad loser, and let's refine the strategy and remove the unwanted losses in future. So starting off with the April 21, that is Monday. Here we go. The price made was bullish in daily, and there was some buy side liquidity above which I took from the weekly chart. So what I can expect is price can push further up to, and after taking out that buy side liquidity, it can push down. It can push down to you know mitigate this daily demand zone. So this is what I'm expecting. So once the price takes out the buy side liquidity, I can expect a strong push down. But now I'm expecting the price to take out the buy side liquidity, which means that my daily bias is bullish. So this is 4-hour chart, and I mark this as the internal structure. So I can now play the internal pullback. So there is a lot of displacement here. So I can assume that the price will form a complex structure to get this POI and then continue pushing up to take out the weekly uh, buy side liquidity. So from the H1 perspective, uh, no, I'm not expecting a deep internal, deep swing pullback after this pause. So I'm expecting this internal structure to continue, internal structure to continue till the price takes out the buy side liquidity, and then I can expect some kind of bearish reaction. So that's what the expectation is. So I can look for sales after the price chalk bearish, but it might react of the demand and continue the bullish momentum. So this is the demand that is holding the price, which has inducement right here. Thus, for me, looking sales would be valid only when the price flips a demand. So I can also look for sales when the price chalks bearish, but this demand is holding the price. So only if this flips, this becomes much more high probability for me to look for sales. So this is not a high probability POI, but still it has got some inducements and it may be reacting something off from the left, but I'm not sure, but it has got some inducements. So POI with inducement, it's almost a high probability POI. So, and yeah, this is the extreme demand zone, which is holding the swing leg. So below which we are having just mitigated demand zones. So if this demand zone fails, then I can expect this low to be taken out. So that's a totally different story. So let's focus on this current price action. And we come to end of the day. So price was bit consolidative. It did not move. It did not move apart from these two ends, and it did not even take out the inducement just below. So it tried to take out the buy side liquidity above without taking the sell side liquidity, but it failed and it started to consolidate. Now what happened is it started to form an E and kind of low resistance liquidity above. So a low resistance liquidity on top of weekly buy side liquidity. So sells are now getting high probability. So let's jump into Tuesday, that is April 22, 2025. So here there is nothing has changed from the daily perspective. So price did not take the buy side liquidity. It's on the verge. So looking for longs is still valid. And if the price takes out this buy side liquidity, then this is a kind of low resistance liquidity being formed. The price can easily chalk bearish, and we can look for some swing pullback or a internal pullback to start. So from the H1 perspective, price actually liquidated the highs. So, but I'm no, but but this could be a fake move because there is much more strong liquidity pool above. So this could be a fake move, and the price also liquidated this low and pushed up. What I can say is like this low failed to take out this high, so this low can be taken out. So in that theory, this works, but I'm not sure whether the price want to take out the weekly buy sell liquidity or it just want to flip the demand zone and continue the swing pullback. So, so let's wait for some confirmations before looking for trades. And I got nothing actually. Price actually took out the highs, so this low failed to take out the highs, so this low has to be taken out. Yeah, it got taken out. So there could be a trade right here because this was a chalk bearish. Probably this was a chalk bearish. There could have been a trade, and once the price comes down, this could have been a trade entry targeting this weak low. But I can check this out. So let me check this out real quick. April 22, 2024. Think trading view is not open. Fine. I'll check the later. Cool. So this is the end of the day. So now we are having a clear boss bearish, internal boss bearish with a strong high because it swept liquidity and pushed down. So now we can assume that this internal structure is gonna hold, and this POI is a very good POI because it has now got an inducement, and with respect to the internal structure also it is in the premium, and with respect to the swing structure also it is in the premium. So I can look for sells till the price reaches this demand zone. So that's it from Tuesday. So let's jump into Wednesday and see what happened on this day. So still the price did not take out the daily buy side liquidity, and now we have formed a micro low from the daily perspective. So any chance that there is a lot of chance that this daily demand could hold, and it can push the price up to take out both the buy side liquidity. And as expected, we saw a strong reaction from this daily POI, but from the 4 hour perspective, there was no significant POI. So I was not interested in this strong rejection. It could be a fake rejection, and the price could easily continue pushing down. That's what I expected. At least at least I expected. And the this was I consider this as the chalk bullish. This is not actually a chalk bullish, but this with this strong rejection, I can assume like this is the maximum pullback that the price could make. And if the price chalks bullish, then I can look for some POIs to enter to target the buy sell liquidity also. That was the plan. And yeah, price actually respected this POI, which was not actually a POI, which was not actually a pullback, but still price respected it. And I expected this could be a fake reaction, and the price started to push down, and there was also a chalk bearish. And so swing structure, the bearish momentum is now supported by this chalk bearish, which means this low becomes weak, and this low can be targeted. So you can mark a POI and look to target. But at the time when the chalk bearish happened, it was around 1745, which is EOD. Price invalidated the demand zone. Yeah, actually, I thought of playing um, longs from here, but that's actually highly risky because when a supply is holding and you are trying to play longs with the internal demand zones, that's very much highly risky. So I didn't take this play. Luckily, um, I got out of this trap, and price respected the supply and started to push down. So that's just this was actually the trade that I looked to trade. So there was also an LC2A model played out. This was the fake break, and this was the liquidation. So you can see the liquidity candle was large, so that's why I didn't take the trade. With the next candle, if it was a small doji candle, then I would have taken the trade. But thankfully, it this this candle actually broke out the POI, so which invalidated the trade. So I just popped out of the trade. So April 4, Thursday, the zoom in. So the buy side liquidity is still not yet taken. At the same time, we see that the daily demand is still in control. So at any time, price could push up and take out the buy side liquidity above. So looking for sales is a bit medium probability, a bit low to medium probability because with the daily demand still holding, we can't say anything about sells. But we can say something about buys because of the bullish structure and buy side liquidity above, and with the daily demand holding, buys becomes high probability, right? So yeah, the pretty much same about the 4-hour chart except this daily demand zone which I drawn freshly. So I can't say anything about 4-hour now because it is a messy price action. All I can do is wait for the H1 to give some bearish, I mean a bullish safe zone, and then I can look for longs. So here it is. This is H1 structure. So H1 came down. So I assumed this as my bullish was bearish because we saw that this high swept this high, which means this high is strong. So swing structures, I mean, I always mark swing structures with respect to strong highs and strong lows, which swept liquidity and pushed down rapidly. So this is a strong high. So I assume this as my boss bearish. So with respect to that, price, this is the premium versus discount. So this is not a high probability PUI from which I can look for shorts. If I want to look for an risk entry, then this would be the PUI recommended PUI that I would suggest because it has got the inducement. Sorry, it has got the inducement. It is still in the premium and it has the displacement alongside with it. So I would suggest you trade from this PUI, but so nevertheless, we got some equal low resistance liquidity here, and this POI is also good because it swept this high and it had top bearish. So this POI can also hold and push the price down to take out the low resistance liquidity below. So just give it a try. So if the price talks bearish right here, so I can look for shorts, or I can also enter directly from using LC2A, and actually price formed and beautiful uh, LC2B. So I can look for buys. Then I can look for the LC2B to play out, and then I can look for sells. So the price actually LC2B actually played out, but it was not in the session. I think I can show you that. Yeah, LC2B played out, but it was outside the session. So moreover, the liquidity candle was too large, even if that it was actually was 24 pip large, I think. So even if this played out, so I would have not been in the trade because I don't like my liquidity candle should be from there is no minimum limit, but there is a maximum limit of 15 pips, 15 to 16 pips. That's it. If that goes beyond 15 to 16 pips, then I would not um up to 20 pips. So from After 15 pips, I stopped placing the displacement buffer and stop loss buffer. About 20 pips, I stopped trading. So this is how mechanical I am. This is Friday, the last day of the week, where I got my losing trade. So, did I place a short or long? Short. So that's why I just took a losing trade. So I should have understood that the overall market dynamics was bullish and there is unmitigated buy side liquidity and there is equal highs. So long should have been my go-to trade, but I stuck with the low time frames. So let's see what happened on this day. Yeah, the daily demand is still holding. So anytime the price can push up, but one thing that I identified is that because there is multiple mitigations into the daily demand, so I expected kind of like it can fail because of multiple mitigations. Mhm. And one more thing is here is there is low resistance being clearly visible in the 4-hour chart also. So this gives us another reason why this demand could fail. But this demand could hold because there is equal highs as well as buy side liquidity above. So it's kind of a tricky trade. So this is H1. Here you can see the low resistance is not yet been taken, and the swing structure is now aligned with the bearish chalk bearish. So this is an inducement, and you know, probably this POI can hold, or most probably this POI can hold and push the price down. So i- this is the most high probability POI, but since the fractal structure as well as the swing structure is now aligned with the resting liquidity below, I am so confident that this POI can hold because this has swept liquidity, it has inducement, it has flipped demand zone. So what else I want? Yeah, price at 749, price mitigated the POI with micro equal lows below and a major sell liquidity below. And I just wanted to follow the LC1 model. So because it was formed during the GHF session just before the Frankfurt Open, so yeah, it is actually good. It's not a bad thing to do. So if the same POI was formed during yesterday's New York session, then I'll wait for some more confirmation. Then price took out the lead and it mitigated the extreme M15 demand, M15 supply zone, which also swept liquidity and it has got displacement. So I was pretty much confident in at least the price targeting the resting liquidity below. And obviously, once the resting liquidity is taken, the price will take out the weak swing low. I was pretty much confident in that. So I just placed a trade and I got tagged in and I got tagged out as quickly. No, but this time it was not as quick as the last time because the price consolidated heavily around this region and it tagged out of me. And yeah, that's it. And then I realized that okay, this low actually is a strong low because it took out some sell side liquidity and it hit a boss bullish. So I consider this as my strong low and I assume this to be the boss bullish. So also one more reason for that is now I can be pretty much sure that price is wanting to take out the buy side liquidity as well as the weekly buy side liquidity above. So I can mark my H1 structure in line with that high time frame narrative. That's why I just mark this as my H1 bullish structure. So yeah, I try to play some longs. So this could be H1 boss bullish, which means the price had chalk bullish, and this could be my PY. So this could be the phase A longs, and if the price take mitigates SPOA. I can look for some M15 LC models, and then I can look to play longs, targeting the weak internal high in the weak swing high. Did it play out? No. I'll show you why. So this actually mitigated and took out the lead, but it was around 245 when this actually played out. So I just don't want to take another loss. At the end of the day, at 245, this is the last 3 p.m. candle, and after which it is New York lull. So I just don't want to take the risk. So I never took this trade, but I'm not sure whether this played out or not. Pretty much, I'm sure. It did play out. Probably not sure. So if you want to check out, I can show you. But currently, the trading view is not opening at the moment. Yeah, I'll show you on the next video. So for now, what we know is I didn't hit the trade, so it can be either a winning trade or losing trade because it definitely got tagged me in. Yeah, sometimes it can also be a break-even trade, right? Yeah, that's it from my side. So that's pretty much it. So another losing trade. So next week, let's see where if I get any trades and if those trades turn to be profitable ones. And then cheers, guys. Thank you. Bye.